What if I told you that becoming rich has nothing to do with your current income, your education, or where you were born? What if wealth was simply the result of making better decisions with the money you already have? Melissia Earnest's "Anyone Can Become Rich" challenges everything you think you know about wealth. This isn't another book telling you to invest in real estate or start a side hustle. This is about something far more fundamental: mastering your personal finances so completely that wealth becomes inevitable, regardless of your starting point. The title isn't motivational fluff. It's a statement of fact. Earnest proves through real stories and practical systems that anyone, truly anyone, can build wealth if they're willing to change their relationship with money. The difference between the wealthy and the struggling isn't luck or intelligence. It's financial literacy and disciplined habits. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to break down Earnest's complete system for personal finance mastery. You'll learn why most people stay broke despite earning good incomes. You'll discover the exact framework wealthy people use to manage money. And you'll walk away with actionable steps you can implement today to transform your financial future. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building sustainable wealth that creates freedom, security, and a genuinely fulfilling life. Let's dive in. Part 1, The Wealth Mindset Foundation. Earnest begins with a crucial truth. Your financial results are a direct reflection of your money mindset. She introduces readers to 3 people with identical $50,000 incomes. One is drowning in debt. One lives paycheck to paycheck. One is building wealth steadily. Same income, completely different outcomes. Why? The difference is entirely mindset and habits. The wealthy thinker sees money as a tool for building freedom. The middle thinker sees money as something to manage until next payday. The poor thinker sees money as something that disappears mysteriously. Earnest explains that most people operate on what she calls consumer autopilot. They earn money, spend money, wonder where it went, then repeat. There's no intentionality, no strategy, no awareness. Money flows through their life like water through a sieve. The first shift required is moving from passive to active money management. This means becoming intensely aware of every dollar, where it comes from, where it goes, and what it accomplishes. Wealthy people track money obsessively, not because they're cheap, but because they understand that awareness is the foundation of control. Earnest shares a powerful exercise. Track every single expense for 30 days without changing anything. Just observe. Most people are shocked to discover they have no idea where their money actually goes. Coffee here, subscription there, impulse purchase everywhere. It adds up to hundreds or thousands monthly. The psychological insight is this: you cannot manage what you don't measure. Wealth building begins with honest assessment, not judgment, not shame, just clear-eyed awareness of your current financial reality. She emphasizes that changing your financial life doesn't require more income first. It requires changing how you think about and handle the income you already have. Lottery winners go broke. High-income professionals stay in debt. Meanwhile, modest earners with excellent financial habits build impressive wealth. Income matters, but mindset and management matter more. Part 2, the spending audit. Once you've tracked your spending for 30 days, Earnest introduces the spending audit, a systematic review of where your money goes. She breaks spending into 4 categories: essentials, investments, lifestyle, and waste. Essentials are non-negotiable survival needs: housing, food, basic transportation, insurance. Investments are expenses that increase future income or wealth: education, business tools, retirement contributions. Lifestyle expenses improve quality of life but aren't strictly necessary: dining out, entertainment, hobbies. Waste is money spent that provides zero value: unused subscriptions, impulse purchases regretted immediately, fees from financial disorganization. The audit process is simple but revealing. List every expense from your 30-day tracking. Categorize each honestly. Calculate totals for each category. Most people discover that waste and lifestyle expenses consume 30-50% of their income, while investments get whatever's left over, usually nothing. Earnest shares the story of Marcus, a $60,000 per year teacher who felt perpetually broke. His audit revealed $800 monthly on restaurants, $200 on unused gym and streaming subscriptions, and $300 on impulse purchases. That's $2,300 monthly, $1,600 yearly, providing minimal actual value. When he redirected just half of this toward investments, his financial trajectory transformed completely. The key insight: most people can find significant money for wealth building without earning more. They're already earning enough. They're just not deploying it strategically. Small leaks sink big ships, and most people have dozens of financial leaks they've never identified. Earnest emphasizes that the audit isn't about becoming miserable or never enjoying life. It's about conscious choice. When you're aware and intentional, you can spend freely on what truly matters while eliminating what doesn't. The problem isn't spending. It's unconscious spending on things that don't align with your values or goals. Part 3. Building your financial foundation. Before building wealth, you need a stable foundation. Earnest outlines the 3 essential pillars every person must establish before pursuing growth. First pillar: the emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down, medical issues arise, jobs end unexpectedly. Without an emergency fund, unexpected expenses become debt, and debt destroys wealth building. Earnest recommends starting with $1,000 as fast as possible, then building toward 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. She tells the story of Jennifer, who was making progress on debt payoff when her car needed $1,200 in repairs. Without an emergency fund, she charged it to a credit card, undoing months of progress and adding interest charges. Meanwhile, her coworker Sarah, who had an emergency fund, paid cash and stayed on track. Same emergency, completely different outcomes. Second pillar: eliminate high-interest debt. Credit cards, payday loans, and similar high-interest debt are financial cancer. Every dollar you owe at 20% interest requires $1.20 in income just to break even. You cannot build wealth while paying these rates. Earnest advocates attacking high-interest debt aggressively, using either the debt snowball method, paying smallest balances first for psychological wins, or the debt avalanche method, paying highest interest first for mathematical efficiency. She emphasizes that during this phase, lifestyle must be minimized. Every available dollar beyond essentials should attack debt. This might mean years of sacrifice, but it's necessary. You're financially sick and need aggressive treatment. The sooner you're debt-free, the sooner you can build wealth. Third pillar: basic insurance coverage. Health insurance prevents medical bankruptcy. Car insurance is legally required. Renters or homeowners insurance protects your assets. Life insurance protects dependents if you're supporting others. Earnest explains that proper insurance is the difference between a setback, and total financial ruin. These three pillars, emergency fund, debt elimination, and insurance, create stability. Without them, you're building on sand. With them, you're building on rock. Only once these foundations are solid should you aggressively pursue wealth building. Trying to invest while carrying high-interest debt is like watering plants while your house is on fire. Misplaced priorities. Part 4. The Wealth Building Framework. With a solid foundation, you're ready for Earnest's Wealth Building Framework. She introduces the 50-30-20 rule as a starting template, then shows how to optimize as income grows. 50% of after-tax income covers needs: housing, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. If your needs exceed 50%, you have a spending problem or an income problem that must be addressed. Most people can get needs to 50% through strategic choices: living with roommates, choosing modest housing, minimizing transportation costs. 30% goes to wants: dining out, entertainment, hobbies, lifestyle upgrades. This is where life happens. Earnest emphasizes this allocation prevents the miserable deprivation that makes people quit. You need to enjoy life while building wealth, or you won't sustain the effort. 20% funds your future: retirement accounts, investments, extra debt payments, business investments, education. This is the wealth building engine. 20% might not sound like much, but compounded over decades, it creates substantial wealth. Earnest walks through a powerful example. Consider someone earning $50,000 annually. After taxes, that's roughly $40,000. Following this framework means $8,000 yearly toward wealth building, $600 it's said to have monthly. If invested in low-cost index funds averaging 8% returns, this becomes $1 million in 30 years. $1 million from $50,000 yearly income simply by consistently allocating 20%. As income grows, the framework should shift. Earnest advocates keeping needs at 50% even as income rises. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Increase wants modestly to 35%, but push wealth building to 40-50% of income. Someone earning $100,000 who maintains $50,000 in needs, spends $35,000 on wants, and invests $40,000 yearly will build wealth exponentially faster than someone who scales lifestyle with income. She shares the critical concept of pay yourself first. Most people fund wants and needs, then invest whatever's left. Usually nothing. Wealthy people automate investment first, then live on what remains. The moment income hits your account, wealth building is handled automatically. Automation removes willpower from the equation. Earnest also addresses the common excuse: I can't afford to save 20%. Her response is direct: you can't afford not to. If your expenses consume 100% of income, you're one emergency from disaster. You must create margin. This might require painful cuts, a side income, or both, but it's non-negotiable. Financial security requires consistently spending less than you earn and investing the difference. Part 5. Understanding compound interest. Earnest dedicates significant attention to compound interest, calling it the most powerful force in wealth building. She explains that compound interest means earning returns on your returns, creating exponential rather than linear growth. Consider two scenarios. Person A invests $500 monthly starting at age 25, stops at 35, and never adds another dollar. Person B waits until 35 to start, then invests $500 monthly until 65. Both invest the same monthly amount. Who has more at 65? Person A, by far. Despite investing for only 10 years versus person B's 30 years, person A has significantly more because compound interest had 30 extra years to work. Time is the secret ingredient. Starting early, even with small amounts, beats starting late with large amounts. Earnest emphasizes that young people have the ultimate advantage: time. A 25-year-old investing $200 monthly will likely have over $500,000 by 65. A 45-year-old needs to invest nearly $1,000 monthly to achieve the same result. 20 years of compounding makes that much difference. She also explains the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your interest rate to determine how long until money doubles. At 8% returns, money doubles every 9 years. This means $10,000 becomes $20,000, then $40,000, then $80,000, then $160,000 over 36 years without adding anything. The practical lesson: invest early, invest consistently, and let time work its magic. Every year, you delay costs exponentially. Compound interest rewards the patient and punishes the procrastinator. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Part 6. Investment Basics for Everyone. Earnest demystifies investing, making it accessible for complete beginners. She emphasizes that investing isn't gambling or only for the wealthy. It's the proven path to building wealth. She starts with retirement accounts. In employer 401k plans, contribute enough to get the full company match. It's literally free money. If your employer matches 5%, contribute at least 5%. That's an immediate 100% return. Then maximize Roth IRA contributions, which grow tax-free forever. For investment selection, Earnest advocates simplicity, low-cost index funds. These funds own hundreds or thousands of companies, providing instant diversification. They require no expertise, minimal fees, and historically return 8 to 10% annually. She warns against trying to pick individual stocks, time the market, or chase hot investments. These strategies usually underperform simple index investing. She shares the story of two investors. Alex tries to beat the market, frequently trading, following tips, chasing trends. After 10 years, his returns average 4% after fees and taxes. Meanwhile, Rebecca buys a simple total stock market index fund, never sells, ignores market noise, and averages 9%. Same starting capital, dramatically different outcomes. Earnest explains dollar-cost averaging, investing fixed amounts at regular intervals regardless of market conditions. When markets are high, you buy fewer shares. When markets are low, you buy more shares. Over time, this averages out and removes emotion from investing. You're not trying to time anything. You're systematically accumulating assets. She addresses the fear of market crashes. Yes, markets crash. They always recover. If you're investing for decades, crashes are opportunities to buy assets on sale, not reasons to panic. The only people who lose money in crashes are those who sell during the crash. Everyone else rides through and eventually profits. The key principles: start now, invest consistently, choose low-cost diversified funds, ignore market noise, never sell in panic, and let compound interest work over decades. Investing isn't complicated. People make it complicated. The wealthy follow these simple principles consistently. Part 7. Creating multiple income streams. While managing expenses and investing are crucial, Earnest emphasizes that income growth accelerates wealth building dramatically. She advocates creating multiple income streams, different sources of money flowing into your life. Most people have one stream, their job. If that stream stops, income stops completely. This is dangerous. Wealthy people typically have 4 to 7 income streams, creating resilience and acceleration. She outlines common income streams. Employment income is the primary stream for most. Investment income comes from dividends, interest, and capital gains. Side business income comes from freelancing, consulting, or running a small business. Passive income comes from rental properties, online courses, books, or licensing intellectual property. Earnest shares Maria's story. As a graphic designer earning $55,000, she added freelance work on weekends, bringing in an extra $1,000 monthly. She invested this money rather than upgrading lifestyle. Within 5 years, her investments generated $300 monthly in dividends. She now had 3 income streams. After 10 years, her investments generated $1,200 monthly, essentially creating a 4th stream equal to her original freelance income. The beauty of multiple streams is the compounding effect. Extra income invested creates investment income. Investment income reinvested compounds faster. Each stream strengthens the others. Earnest emphasizes starting small. You don't need to launch a major business immediately. Can you freelance your professional skills? Can you tutor, consult, or create digital products? Can you turn a hobby into small income? Even $200 and $500 monthly in additional income, invested consistently, transforms long-term wealth. The practical approach: master your primary income stream first, making yourself valuable and well compensated. Then add a second stream, usually a side business leveraging your skills. Use that income to build investments, which eventually become a 3rd stream. Over years, these streams grow and multiply. Part 8. The psychology of delayed gratification. Earnest tackles perhaps the most important psychological principle in wealth building. Delayed gratification. The ability to sacrifice present pleasure for future benefit is the single strongest predictor of financial success. She references the famous marshmallow experiment, where children who could resist eating 1 marshmallow to get 2 later showed better life outcomes decades later. Financial success requires the same skill, resisting spending today to build wealth for tomorrow. The challenge is that modern society is engineered to destroy delayed gratification. Advertising bombards us constantly. Credit makes instant gratification easy. Social media showcases everyone's highlight reels, creating comparison anxiety. Buy now, pay later removes friction from spending. Our environment actively works against self-control. Earnest explains the hedonic treadmill. We quickly adapt to lifestyle improvements, returning to baseline happiness. The new car excites you for weeks, then becomes normal. The bigger apartment thrills you briefly, then becomes the new standard. You're constantly chasing the next upgrade, but never achieving lasting satisfaction. The alternative is deliberately building a gap between what you can afford and what you spend. If you can afford a $300 monthly car payment, choose a $150 payment. If you can afford a $2,000 apartment, choose $1,500. Use the gap for wealth building. As income grows, maintain this gap rather than closing it with lifestyle upgrades. She shares David's story. As a software engineer, his income grew from $60,000 to $120,000 over 8 years. Instead of upgrading proportionally, he made modest lifestyle improvements while investing most of the increase. By 35, his investments generated enough passive income that he could pursue passion projects rather than grinding for income. The key insight: every spending decision is a choice between present pleasure and future freedom. The latte isn't just $5. It's $5 that could become $20 in investment growth over 20 years. Buying a new car isn't just $30,000. It's $30,000 that could compound to $100,000 plus. Wealthy people constantly make these calculations and choose future freedom. Part 9. Protecting your wealth. Building wealth is only half the equation. You must also protect it. Earnest outlines the primary threats to wealth and how to defend against them. First threat: lifestyle inflation. As income grows, spending grows proportionally or faster, preventing wealth accumulation. Combat this by automating investment increases whenever income increases. If you get a 5% raise, immediately increase investment contributions by 3 to 4%. Second threat: financial predators. These include high-fee financial advisors, scam investments, and manipulative salespeople. Earnest advises extreme skepticism toward anyone promising easy money or pressuring quick decisions. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Stick to boring, proven strategies. Third threat: major life mistakes. Divorce, addiction, lawsuits, and poor business partnerships destroy wealth rapidly. Protect yourself with prenuptial agreements, avoiding substance abuse, maintaining adequate insurance, and choosing partners carefully. Fourth threat: yourself. Emotional decisions, panic selling during market downturns, chasing hot investments, and abandoning plans during difficult periods cause most wealth destruction. The solution is systems that remove emotion. Automated investments, written financial plans, and accountability partners. Earnest emphasizes that wealth protection is unglamorous, but essential. The wealthy build slowly and protect fiercely. They avoid risks that could erase years of progress. They make boring, consistent decisions rather than exciting, risky ones. Part 10. Teaching financial literacy to the next generation. Earnest dedicates significant attention to breaking intergenerational poverty by teaching children's financial principles. She argues that financial literacy should be taught as early as children understand counting. Young children can learn needs versus wants, the concept of saving, and that money comes from work. Elementary-age children can learn basic budgeting, the power of compound interest, and wise spending choices. Teenagers should manage bank accounts, understand credit, learn about investing, and practice delayed gratification. She emphasizes leading by example. Children learn more from observing your financial behaviors than from your words. If you preach saving but constantly shop impulsively, they learn the behavior, not the words. Earnest recommends giving children age-appropriate financial responsibility. A teenager with a clothing budget learns decision-making consequences. A child with a bank account learns saving habits. These lessons are worth far more than the mistakes they'll make. The goal isn't creating miserly children, but financially intelligent adults who understand money as a tool, make conscious decisions, and build wealth intentionally. Part 11. Common wealth-building mistakes to avoid. Earnest identifies the most common mistakes that prevent people from building wealth, even when they're following other good advice. Mistake 1. Waiting for the perfect time. People say they'll start investing after the next raise, after debt is completely gone, or after some arbitrary milestone. Meanwhile, years pass and compounding opportunity is lost forever. Start with whatever you can now. Even $25 monthly begins building the habit. Mistake 2. Keeping up with others. Your coworker drives a luxury car, so you think you should too. Your friend buys a house, triggering your desire to purchase. Your sibling takes expensive vacations, making your modest trips feel inadequate. This comparison trap destroys wealth building. Run your own race. Mistake 3. Neglecting income growth. While expense management is crucial, income has no ceiling. Many people optimize expenses but never develop valuable skills. Ask for raises, change jobs strategically, or build additional income streams. Wealth building accelerates when you attack from both sides, cutting waste and growing income. Mistake 4. Investing without understanding. People jump into complex investments, cryptocurrency, individual stocks, real estate syndications, without foundational knowledge. They lose money through ignorance. Earnest advocates learning thoroughly before investing beyond simple index funds. Mistake 5. Failing to automate. Manual wealth building relies on willpower and memory, both of which fail regularly. Automated transfers to investment accounts, automated bill payments, and automated savings make wealth building effortless. Mistake 6. Giving up after setbacks. Everyone makes financial mistakes. You overspend occasionally. Markets crash. Unexpected expenses arise. The difference between those who build wealth and those who don't is getting back on track quickly, rather than abandoning the plan entirely. Part 12. The Path to Financial Freedom. Earnest defines financial freedom clearly. Having enough passive income to cover all expenses without working. This doesn't mean never working. It means working becomes optional, done for fulfillment rather than survival. She breaks financial freedom into stages. Stage 1 is financial stability. 3 to 6 months of expenses in emergency savings, no high-interest debt, and consistent income. Most people should reach this within 2 to 5 years of focused effort. Stage 2 is financial security. Enough invested that returns cover basic needs if necessary. You're not free to quit working, but you have a substantial cushion. This typically requires 10 to 15 years of consistent investing. Stage 3 is financial independence. Passive income covers your lifestyle completely. You can retire, change careers without income consideration, or pursue passion projects. This typically requires 15 to 30 years of disciplined wealth building, depending on income level and savings rate. Stage 4 is financial abundance. Passive income significantly exceeds expenses, allowing generous giving, lifestyle luxuries, and building generational wealth. This is where wealth building becomes about impact rather than security. Earnest emphasizes that these stages are sequential. You must build the foundation before reaching freedom. Trying to skip stages usually backfires, and financial freedom doesn't require millions. Someone with modest tastes who covers $40,000 in annual expenses with passive income is financially free, even though they're not wealthy by luxury standards. She shares the story of Jennifer and Mark. As teachers earning $55,000 each, they lived on one income and invested the other entirely. After 22 years, their investments generated $60,000 annually in passive income. They could both retire at 50 if desired, or continue teaching because they love it, not because they need the income. The mathematics of financial freedom are simple. Calculate annual expenses. Multiply by 25. That's roughly the investment portfolio needed to sustain your lifestyle indefinitely using the 4% withdrawal rule. Someone with $40,000 in annual expenses needs $1 million invested. Someone with $80,000 in expenses needs $2 million. This seems daunting, but remember compound interest. Someone investing $1,000 monthly for 30 years at 8% returns reaches $1.4 million. That's financial freedom achieved on a modest but consistent investment amount. Part 13. Creating a personal financial plan. Earnest provides a framework for creating a comprehensive financial plan, emphasizing that written plans are dramatically more successful than vague intentions. Start with crystal clear goals. Not save more, but invest $500 monthly for the next 10 years to accumulate $100,000 for financial security. Not get out of debt, but pay off $15,000 in credit card debt within 18 months using the debt snowball method. Specific, measurable, time-bound goals create accountability. Next, calculate your current financial position. Total assets minus total liabilities equals net worth. Track this quarterly. Watching net worth grow provides powerful motivation. Also, calculate your savings rate, the percentage of after-tax income you save and invest. This single number predicts your financial trajectory more than any other metric. Then, create your budget using the 50-30-20 framework adjusted to your situation. List every expense category with specific dollar allocations. Build in flexibility, but maintain structure. Review monthly and adjust as needed. Automate everything possible. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts on payday. Automate bill payments. Automate debt payments. Remove manual decisions that create opportunities for poor choices. Create accountability mechanisms. Share goals with a trusted friend or partner. Join financial communities. Use apps that track progress. Regular check-ins keep you honest and motivated. Earnest emphasizes reviewing and updating the plan quarterly. Life changes, goals evolve, income fluctuates. The plan should be a living document, not something created once and forgotten. She shares that people with written financial plans accumulate 2 to 3 times more wealth than those with similar incomes, but no formal plan. The difference isn't intelligence or income, it's intentionality and accountability that written plans provide. Part 14. Living a rich life now while building wealth. Earnest tackles a crucial tension. Building wealth requires sacrifice, but life is happening now, not just in the future. She argues against extreme frugality that makes you miserable, as it's unsustainable, and defeats the purpose of wealth, which is freedom and enjoyment. The key is conscious spending on what truly matters to you, while cutting ruthlessly on what doesn't. She introduces the rich life concept. Identify your top 3 to 5 sources of genuine joy, then spend freely on those while minimizing everything else. For one person, travel might be their rich life priority. They drive an old car, live in a modest apartment, and rarely eat out, but take amazing trips quarterly. For another, it might be dining at excellent restaurants with friends. They cut other areas but never compromise on this. Earnest shares her own example. She values time with family, learning experiences, and health. She spends generously on family activities, courses and books, and fitness. But she drives a reliable but unremarkable car, rarely buys new clothes, and has minimal interest in status symbols. The practice is identifying what brings genuine happiness versus what society says should make you happy. Then, allocate money toward authentic joy, while eliminating spending on things you do only because of social pressure or habit. This approach makes wealth building sustainable. You're not depriving yourself of what truly matters. You're eliminating waste so you can afford what does matter, both now and in your future. So, there you have it. Melissia Earnest's complete blueprint for building wealth from wherever you're starting. The title, "Anyone Can Become Rich," isn't marketing hype. It's the truth. This book proves that wealth isn't about luck, inheritance, or extraordinary intelligence. It's about financial literacy and disciplined habits applied consistently over time. Let's recap the core framework. First, shift from passive to active money management through tracking and awareness. Second, audit your spending to eliminate waste and redirect toward wealth building. Third, build your financial foundation with an emergency fund, debt elimination, and proper insurance. Fourth, implement the 50-30-20 framework to systematically build wealth. Fifth, harness compound interest by starting early and staying consistent. Sixth, invest simply in low-cost index funds and ignore market noise. Seventh, create multiple income streams for resilience and acceleration. Eighth, master delayed gratification by choosing future freedom over present pleasure. Ninth, protect your wealth from inflation, predators, and yourself. And finally, create a written financial plan with specific goals and accountability. Here's what's beautiful about this system. It works for everyone. Whether you're earning $30,000 or $300,000, these principles create wealth proportional to your application of them. The teacher investing 20% of a modest income builds real wealth. The executive investing 50% of a high income builds it faster. But both succeed through the same fundamental principles. The question isn't whether this works. It's proven over decades across millions of people. The question is, will you apply it? Because knowledge without action is worthless. You could memorize every principle in this book and stay broke if you never implement. Here's your action plan. This week, track every expense. Next week, complete your spending audit. Within a month, create your written financial plan with specific goals. Within 3 months, have your emergency fund started, high-interest debt on an aggressive repayment plan, and automated investments running. Within a year, you should see measurable progress, rising net worth, falling debt, growing confidence. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. Will you sacrifice? Definitely. Will there be setbacks? Of course. But will you build wealth if you commit to these principles? Absolutely. The math doesn't lie. Consistent application of proven financial principles creates wealth inevitably. Remember, you're not just building money. You're building freedom. Freedom from financial stress. Freedom to make choices based on values, not desperation. Freedom to pursue meaningful work. Freedom to help others. Freedom to live life on your terms. Anyone can become rich. The principles are simple. The execution requires discipline. But the reward, financial freedom and a fulfilling life, is worth every sacrifice. Thanks for watching. If this summary gave you clarity and motivation, hit that like button and subscribe for more book summaries that can transform your financial future. And remember, the best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. Now, go build your wealth. Anyone can become rich. That means you.